Boom! Yo, what's up, guys? So, welcome to the first episode of something I'm doing here on my YouTube page. I'm a little bit new. I've done a little bit in the past. For the most part, though, as you guys have seen, a lot of my YouTube videos are fitness related, which a lot of the stuff will tie into fitness. A lot of life principles tie back into fitness and vice versa. But a lot of my videos have been fitness stuff. They've been vlogs, food vlogs, how-to food vlogs, a lot of stuff like that. But something I want to start getting into is more life type videos, stuff that applies to life strategies, life ideas, that kind of stuff, right? And preface, I am without a doubt not a life guru, right? I'm 23 years old. I'm very, very young, but I've experienced a lot of cool stuff in my life thus far. I think, at least, right? I've been very fortunate to learn from a really good mentor. Corey Gregory has been my mentor now since I was about 17. I'm 23 now, so about the last 6 years. He's on his way to building his third $1 million business, so very successful in the business world, but also very, very successful in life as well. He looks like I got a package in the mail. I mean, very successful family. He has a healthy family, a happy family. He himself is one of the happiest people I know. So I learned from him not only in business, but also in all aspects of life. He's turned me onto a lot of really good books as well, which I've also gained a lot of really good life knowledge from, I believe. Books have totally changed my life forever. So long story short, I want to start doing more videos about life strategies, life ideas, things that I've found that have greatly affected my life and have been total game changers. And the cool thing about life is that everyone's so much different that what works for me may not work for you. So a lot of these things, 50% of the people may benefit a ton from, and the other people maybe won't benefit from. So it's worth a shot. Again, a lot of the stuff I'm going to share with you has totally changed my life forever. So I just want to preface that before we jump into today's topic. So without any further ado, excuse me. Today's topic is front-loading the day for ultimate optimization and productivity. So before I start, there'll be a link below. I did an article that goes hand in hand with this, and straight up, I'm a lot better at writing than I am at doing videos. That's why I do more writing than video stuff. And for whatever reason, that's just how my brain works. I'm just able to convey my ideas and my thoughts much more fluently and effectively. I'm able to get all my ideas out into the ether, into reality, than when I'm doing video. I sometimes, not sometimes, mostly, usually forget a lot of stuff that I'm trying to convey in a video. I think it's because I've always had anxiety, so when I'm on video, I'm thinking about that being anxious sometimes, but it is what it is. You can't change that. So let's see. Let's get into the topic without any further ado. All right. So got my notes here. I'm going over my notes. I'm super anal about having notes. If you listen to our podcast, the Young and Hungry Firecast, you know I've always got notes. So what is front loading the day? What does that even mean? Because you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck? What do you mean by front loading the day? So a lot of you actually probably doing it already without even realizing it, especially you guys that are training at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And that's where all this stemmed from. When I originally started working out with Corey Gregory at 5 a.m., I think it was when I was 17 or 18, and it totally changed my life forever. So what does front loading the day mean? And essentially what it means is doing as much as possible the first few hours of the day, especially the most important work the first few hours of the day. So that's key right there, right? So not only are you doing as much work as possible the first few hours of the day, but you're usually doing the most important work of the day. And that's huge because we as humans, I've come to find it, especially myself, we trick ourselves into thinking that we're being productive when in reality, we're actually probably just busy. There's a big, big difference, and know the fucking difference between being busy and being productive. It's very easy to be busy, but being productive means you're actually getting important tasks done. So front load your day, not only with work in general, but important work. So another important key, we'll go off real quick here into a tangent, is to-do list, which right up here on my wall, on my whiteboard, I have a to-do list. It's like a not a how-to, but a to-do list, checklist basically. And what you want to do is front load that with the most important task, and then the least important task towards the bottom. So you knock out the most important, and then that means you won't, by the end of the day, run out of time and not have enough time for your most important task. So tangent over. Continuing. So a big thing with front loading the day is having a routine, especially for me. I'm a very routine-based person. I have to have a schedule, a routine that I follow pretty much every day, or I will totally lose my mind pretty much. I'll lose my marbles, which we'll get into in a second. So this is what my routine looks like most days. Most days. This is like an ideal day for me. This is if everything goes correctly and I'm on top of my shit, this is how it looks. So wake up wake up at 2:30 or 3 a.m. Meditate while I'm still in bed at 2:30. I usually just do like a YouTube guided meditation, and then I'll get out of bed. I'll take a full blast cold shower, as cold as the shower will go, which is miserable, but I don't drink caffeine, so it really gets me wired and gets me going, basically. Gets my mind right, gets me alert and ready to rock. Cold shower, get my gym stuff ready. I'll get in the car by 3 and I'll head out. I'll get to the gym. My house is kind of far away from the gym, so I'm usually at the gym by 3:30 or so. We'll say 3:30. And we don't actually start training until 4. So why I get there at 3:30 is to allow myself 30 minutes of mobility and warming up. I think that's super important. That's a very underrated aspect of fitness, is the warm up and the mobility in general. So I spend 30 minutes warming up, doing all my mobility stuff. So then by the time everybody's there, we had a group of like 15 to 25 guys most days at 4 a.m. I'm ready to rock by 4 a.m. I'm feeling good. I'm loose. I'm ready to go. Opposed to showing up at 4 and being cold and hopping into it. The workout's not going to go well for me, at least. That's kind of how my body works. And again, everyone's different, just like we talked about at the beginning. So, all right. So my routine, continuing. So gym, I'll record content when I'm at the gym. My daily Instagram content, Snapchat content. That's very important for my brand, which ties back into my business. On the way home, audiobook or podcast on the drive home, just to be productive. I got a 30-minute drive home, so I can either listen to some sort of YouTube podcast or I'll listen to an audiobook. I'm not the biggest fan of audiobooks. I don't learn as well without the visual. So next, once I get home, I'll eat my post-workout meal. For me, it's usually sweet potatoes. I fucking love sweet potatoes, which you guys see on Snapchat. If you're not friends with me on Snapchat, JAY_Azeltine, Azeltine. Yeah, so I'll eat when I get home, and then usually after I eat, I will answer some questions, some emails, some Snapchat questions. I'll usually post my my morning Instagram video of my workout that morning, and then I'll usually shower, and then I'll do a little bit of reading usually, and then I'll answer some more emails and some more Snapchat questions. And at that point, it's usually 8, 9 a.m., and then that's when I begin, quote unquote, my day, right? So I'm actually beginning my day about 6, 7 hours after I actually wake up and get out of bed. So that's kind of the what. That's the how-to. You get up, and you don't even necessarily have to get up early. Like if you get up at noon, you can still front load your day, right? So your front loading would be like noon to 6 or 7 p.m., which sounds hilarious, but it really doesn't matter when you get up. This applies to really any kind of schedule, sleeping schedule. For me, it's just I wake up super early. Cool. So why do this? What's the benefit, right? That's the point of this whole video. And I can explain that in two words. Let's start with one. Momentum, right? Life is a game of momentum. Everything applies. Weight loss, literally everything in life is a game of momentum, right? And to be more specific, positive momentum. You either have negative or positive momentum, but the positive momentum is what you're going for, right? Of course. So let's go over my notes here, so I don't miss anything. Like I said, I miss a lot on video. I get caught up. In life, you either have positive momentum or negative momentum. And you also have small scale momentum and large scale momentum. That's a key too. So what do I mean by large scale momentum? So I'm talking your business is doing really well. Your family's super healthy and happy. Everything's in the grand scheme of things is going really well. But then there's the small scale momentum, which is a day-to-day type momentum. And this resets every 24 hours. So when you go to bed and wake up the next morning, you got a fresh slate of small scale momentum, which can be a great thing or it can be a negative thing, because that means you have to get the wheels turning every day. And that's why we're front loading the day, to get those wheels turning. Now it's coming full circle, right? You're starting to see what I'm getting at here. So it's basically a game of momentum. And this is in the whole front loading your day strategy is a strategy to get the wheels moving and allow yourselves to pick up that positive momentum in the small scale, which is going to run into the big scale, right? That all ties together. So let's see what my notes got here. Building up and maintaining positive momentum on both the small and large scale is a huge key in life. One of the biggest keys. I mean, for me, it's probably the number one key, because if I don't have momentum, then which we're going to get to in a second, hold my horses. When you've got positive momentum, it feels like you can't be stopped, right? It feels like you're destined to do great things. everything's going your way. Everyone's felt this at one time or another in life, to where literally it feels like nothing can go wrong. Everything's happening that's in your favor. You can't fucking miss, basically. But then on the other side of things, I'm going to flip my notes. On the other side, the negative momentum's the same way, right? It seems like you can't catch a break. A lot of people call it that they say they're unlucky. They don't have good luck. That's all bullshit, right? It's just a game of momentum. They just let their negative momentum take over, and now it's just continuing to this is the domino effect. It gets worse and worse and worse because they got that grand scale negative momentum going now. So this can affect your daily decision-making process as well. This is why this is super important to get the momentum rolling, because the momentum that you start the day with affects the rest of the day. And that's what I said right here. This can affect your daily decision-making process as well. For example, when I have a ton of positive momentum build up, cue front loading the day. When I go through my daily strategy and I do front load the day, I'm much more likely to continue to make positive choices throughout the day. And I'll go into an example in a second, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. But then on the other hand, when I don't start the day correctly, I got negative momentum, then I'm much more likely to continue to make negative decisions throughout the day. And after I give you this hypothetical situation, you're going to look back on your life and be like, shit, that happens to me all the time. So you're going to be, basically the whole point of this video and this article is to make you aware of the positive and negative momentum in your life, which a great book to read is called The Compound Effect. Definitely read that. That's where I got this whole idea from. But moving on. The idea of the rich get richer and the poor get poor, that goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. When you got positive momentum, you're much more likely to continue to make positive decisions, and it continues to spin the wheels faster and faster. But when you've got the negative momentum, you're much more likely to make negative decisions, and it's like your wheels are spinning backwards. You're going in reverse, right? And you're only going faster and faster. You're either going faster and faster the positive way, or you're going faster and faster the negative way. One way or another, you have momentum. There's never a neutral momentum. It's either positive or negative, in my opinion. This is all just how my brain works. This is how I think the momentum works. So, and this is my video, so fuck it. You know, this is what I think. And moving on into the hypothetical situation, which, like I was just saying, this is really gonna hit home for a lot of you guys, I think. And this is when you're gonna be aware of what's happening in your life, and you're gonna be a lot more self-aware when it's happening real time. Cool. So, hypothetical situation here. Let's use Steve as the subject, right? Steve is our guy here. So Steve has a big project due soon that he hasn't worked on at all, really. He's got a ton of work to do in his mind. He thinks he's not even close to being done. And he plans on getting up the next day really early to start knocking it out and pretty much finish it completely because it's due really soon. Maybe it's even due that day. So what ends up happening, though, is he ends up staying up very late that night, the night that he's supposed to go to sleep early. He stays up real late, which in turn causes him to snooze the next morning and just keep sleeping. He hits a snooze for a couple hours. I've been there before. That's definitely happened to me. It's a shitty feeling, and it causes that negative momentum, but you'll see what happens in a second. So snoozes all morning, wakes up a few hours later, and when he wakes up, he's got all that negative momentum now, right? And that's going to cause him to likely probably stay in bed for a few more hours because now he's feeling real bad about himself. So he's just going to go back to sleep and say, oh, I'll wake up and I'll feel better about myself and I'll do my work then. So when he wakes up a few more hours later, let's say it's noon by then, he's much more likely to just call it a day and just bum it the rest of the day, right? Because I've been there to where I don't wake up for the gym, don't get what I'm supposed to get done. I am 100 times more likely to just bum it the rest of the day and just call it a wash, basically, right? Well, I already fucked up. I'm just gonna call the rest of the day a wash. It's over. I'll just restart tomorrow. So, let's see. And he may even decide that the project wasn't even that important, right? Oh, it's not that important. I didn't even do it. Didn't need to do it anyways. Only counted for 20 points. I'm just going to sleep the rest of the day. That's that negative momentum speaking. So his day's pretty much fucked. He's going to stay in bed. He's going to watch TV. He's going to eat junk food all day. And a lot of this ties to diet too. So now that he's got that negative momentum, he's probably a lot more likely to make negative decisions in his diet life too, and his relationships. All these things tie together. You're starting to see how all this shit comes back full circle. So let's re-examine that scenario for in a positive manner, right? So a little bit different perspective. So let's say Steve got to bed early, right? And he woke up before his alarm even went off and didn't hit snooze, Hopped out of bed before the alarm went off. So he's got this extra time now that he wasn't planning on having. So he gets up. He's like, what do I do with my time now? I'll go to the gym. He hadn't been to the gym in a while. He's been putting it off for a few weeks or even a few months or a few years. He decides to go to the gym now because he's got that positive momentum, not the negative momentum, right? It's funny how that works. So now he's got the positive momentum. And let's say he goes to the gym, right? And the gym's 30 minutes away, kind of similar to me. So he, on the way to the gym, decides to listen to an audiobook that he's been putting off for, let's say, months, years, whatever. So more momentum, right? He's continuing to put up the positive momentum. And each act of positive, each positive decision he makes, pretty much makes it more likely he's going to make a positive decision the next time because that positive momentum is building up. So listens to the audiobook on the drive to the gym and then gets his workout in. Momentum's really built up now, right? So when he leaves the gym, he heads home. He's planning on getting his project done first thing. But when he gets home, instead of eating, let's say he usually eats sugary cereal for breakfast, clearly not good for you. I love it as much as anyone. I love sugar more than anyone, but it's not good for you. So he gets home, and his go-to usually is cereal. But because he's got all this momentum, he's feeling good about himself, he's feeling healthy, he's hit the gym, he decides to eat a really healthy, wholesome breakfast. He eats some eggs and bacon and some sweet potatoes. You guys know I'm all about the sweet potatoes. So maybe he goes with eggs, bacon, and sweet potatoes. So a healthy breakfast now. Continuing to build up the positive momentum more and more and more, right? You can see the wheels spinning faster and faster with each positive decision that he's making. So now that he's done with his breakfast, he is going to finally begin his project. And it's about the same time he had planned on waking up at anyways. So he didn't lose any time with going to the gym, audiobook, none of that stuff. He's basically at the same time he had planned on waking up the night before and starting his project. So perfect, right? He sits down to do his project and he crushes it within an hour. He thought it was going to take him like 5-6 hours. And he had just been putting it off because he thought it was going to be so difficult. But once he sat down to actually do it, he fucking crushes it. No issue. And boom, the daunting task is off his shoulders. So he's feeling like $1 million now. You guys have all felt that when you're putting something off forever, you finally do it. It literally feels like $1 million off of your shoulders, which is the best feeling in the entire world, right? So moving on. So he's got the project done. So let's step back. Who do you guys think is going to have the more productive day? Who's going to have the more positive day, the more happy day? Who do you think that's going to be? Steve from scenario 1 or Steve from scenario 2? It's really clear, right? Steve from scenario 2 has all of this positive momentum build up. So he is so much more likely. It's not even a question. He's clearly going to have the better day, right? He's going to be happier. He's going to, and also since he's happier, he has all this positive momentum. He's much more likely to help other people too, because when you're in a negative state and you're not happy with yourself, there's no way you can help other people. So clearly he's going to have the better day. But why though, right? He's the same exact person as Steve number 1. They have the same genetics. They have the same brain. Literally everything's the same past experiences. But why is he going to have the better day? Because of momentum. It's a game of momentum. Life is a game of momentum. So he's got the positive momentum. He's winning right now. So the rest of the day is going to literally be a breeze for him. He's going to crush it. He's going to cruise through the day. He's probably going to get other stuff done that he's been putting off for months too, because he's already got the ball rolling. So it comes back to creating as much positive momentum as possible the first third of the day, let's say, the first third of a day, the first 6 hours of the day, 7 hours of the day. That's probably even like half the day for most people. That is so important though. That's what front loading the day does. It creates that positive momentum and allows you to get the wheels turning. And now that the wheels are turning, I use this analogy all the time with clients for diet, but also with people for life too. Positive momentum, you can kind of relate it to a train, right? It's really hard to get going, so it's really hard to get the positive momentum going. It's really hard to push a train to get going. But once you get it moving though, it's really hard to stop too. It'll go through a fucking brick wall. But you got to get it moving first. That's why it's so important to front load your day. So you quickly get that momentum rolling, the wheels turning, and then you're just going to crush the rest of the day. So for me, speaking personally, when I wake up late and I miss the gym in the morning, it is damn near impossible for me to get the day going, to get the wheels turning. I have such a hard time getting into a groove that I pretty much always end up calling that day a wash. Like I was saying with the hypothetical Steve situation, the day's a wash. I'm just going to watch TV and hang out all day, just because for me, I have a super all in or not in at all mindset, and I'm a super routine based person. So I have to be all in, and I also have to stick to my routine. I'm self-aware enough to know that. That's a huge key, is being self-aware and knowing how you tick. You might not tick the same way, and you got to cater towards how your mind does tick and how you work. So that's super important. I think I got a few more notes here. But long story short, life's a game of momentum, so you got to win that game every single day. You got to have the grand scheme momentum. You got to win that game, but you also have to win the game of the small scale momentum, which resets every single day, which can be a great thing for someone that's got a lot of negative momentum in life right now. They get a fresh start, but it's also can be a bad thing too, because you got to get those wheels turning every day, and it's a challenge too. So I'm out of notes. I have a couple of more things in the article. Again, there'll be a link below once the article is actually up. The video will be up before the article because it's going on CoreyGFitness.com. You got to be a member to check out the article. Well worth the membership though. But to wrap it up completely, be aware of your momentum. Be aware of what causes positive momentum and negative momentum, and do your damnness to fucking keep as much positive momentum and build up as much positive momentum as possible on both the small and the large scale, because it makes your life that much easier. Once you have that positive momentum going, everything becomes easier. So really make an effort to get the momentum going. Other than that, though, I think that's a wrap. We'll be back probably maybe later this week, maybe next week. I'm not sure how I want to do this, but whenever I have an idea come to my head, I have a couple of other theories like this and strategies that I utilize in my life, so I'll make some more videos for those. They'll go along with the articles that I put up. Most likely they'll all be on CoreyGFitness.com, so definitely get a membership on the site too. But stay tuned. Like the video if you got something out of this, you appreciate it. Send it over to someone if it benefited you. If this ends up changing your life potentially, which again, it changed my life, send it to a couple of buddies. It might end up changing their life too. It's like the domino effect. It's like a forest fire. It starts spreading, and before you know it, you've affected 100 plus people. So that's really cool. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my videos. Other than that, we'll catch you later. Peace.